Well, that was great. I was excited. It's great to be back on the field with the Raiders. Some really good effort, good work. Really pleased with our first day of practice. I'll answer any questions that I can.
Coach, just first day, overall thoughts, what was it like to be back on the field?
Well, it was great. Been on the field obviously for the last 3 or 4 days, but it's really fun when the veterans show up and they're in shape. They know what to do. They paid the price, and I think they're together. I really like the way the team has gelled, and I was pleased with the execution for the most part on both sides.
Your thoughts on Colton Miller and his performance today, first day?
Doing pretty good. He's blocking a beast over there. You know, Bruce Irvin is one of our captains right now, and he's going to test Miller every day. And we're really pleased with Colton, not only from an athletic standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. Cable's on him every day. He's learning how to play with Derek Carr, who's doing a lot at the line of scrimmage. He's showing a lot of poise, and obviously he's very talented.
John, do you like having a lot of fans here for impacts, or is it a distraction?
As long as they're fans. You know, I love fans that are rooting for the Raiders. The more the merrier. But all the critics, you know, they have to sit over there in the cheap seats. Yeah, I love having fans out here at training camp.
Coach, how bad have you missed this? And did you feel like a kid in the candy store when you got out here today?
Yeah, pretty much. My role at the beginning of practice is to let the assistant coaches do the fundamentals, a lot of the techniques that we're coaching, and I had a hard time standing watching. But it's just awesome to be here. It's a great responsibility. I know I have a lot to prove, and I'm eager to do the best I can to do it.
When you were here last year, Coach, or previously you had 2 days, now you have 1 day. How is that different for you and your staff, you know, in terms of building a football team?
Well, we still have an afternoon session. We're going to cram a lot of information into our walkthroughs. We're still going to get the reps done. You're just not going to see it at speed. So you got to really encourage your coaches, your players to be wired in mentally. You have to do a great job above the neck being into it. Even though they're not full speed reps, you can still learn how to get aligned. You can still learn how to communicate. If you need to make a change in the play, you can learn how to do that. But it's not that much different really than it was 100 years ago. You're just not allowed to bring 150 guys to camp and have 3-a-days.
Coach, it seems like Colton put on a little bit of weight. What does that say about him just putting in that extra work from minicamp until now?
Well, he put in a lot of work physically. He's going to get bigger. He's just a pup getting started. And he's obviously worked hard. Tom Shaw, our strength staff, has done an excellent job with our young linemen on both sides. We brought in 3 guys in the trenches in defense, 2 offensive tackles that need a lot of work in that area, and so far we're very pleased.
John, what's P.J. Hall's injury?
He has a pec strain. We're going to keep him where he is for a couple days. We haven't seen him. We're not allowed to have contact with these players for a few weeks, so we'll take him through some rehab and make sure he's ready to go before we cut him loose.
How would you assess your level of involvement with bringing Khalil Mack in there? Is that Reggie's job in their department, or is that?
No, it's really I'm coaching a team. I'm going to run the quarterback meetings. I'm going to go in there and try to install the plays and get ready for the next practice. You know, Reggie will be able to update you on his situation. He's been in contact with his representation, and hopefully we get him in here soon because he's an exciting player. He's one of the best in football.
What did you think of your defense besides not having that?
I like our defense. You know, I like what we're doing on defense. Our defensive coordinator is really good. Creates a lot of problems. And Bruce Irvin's playing his natural position on an every down basis. I think he's a heck of a player. We've improved our inside pass rush. We've added a veteran presence. Some people don't like it, but I like Derek Johnson. I like Marcus Gilchrist. I like guys that know what the heck's going on. And Leon Hall, Reggie Nelson, Emmanuel Lemure, they know this defense as well as Gunther. So they're a handful, and they're going to be a problem for us for the next few weeks.
Jordy Nelson, Sammy Adams, does he look like the guy he was a couple years ago?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's wired in. He's you can see why he was a security blanket for Rodgers all those years. But he can still run. He's proven to us he can run. We can line him up anywhere we want, and he can run any route we draw up. So we're really encouraged by him. Cooper came back at 223 pounds. So we've got 2, I think, dynamic players on the outside.
What are your goals for this training camp?
My goals? Well, obviously you'd like to stay healthy. You'd like to have your team come together and show improvement every day. And I want the competition to bring out the best in these guys, and I believe it will. I think you're going to see some really exciting competitive drills as we put the pads on.
John, how much rapport have you built with Derek Carr so far, and is he pretty much the guy you expected him to be?
And I can't say enough about him. He's special. That's all I'll say. I'll let him speak on that. I couldn't be more pleased. I've worked with a lot of really great quarterbacks in the past. But this man is as into football as any guy I've met, and he is talented, man, and smart.
How are you and Marshawn?
I don't know. He's, he gives me a hard time a lot, but I love him. I love being around him. If you get to know him, you understand what I'm talking about. He's a little bit misunderstood to some people, but he's a football player. A lot of people consider that cliche, but he's all football. He loves it, competes. And I'm excited to see him with his pads on playing for the Raiders again.
Derek didn't do a lot of play action with Derek last year. How is he in terms of that aspect of his game, and what do you want him to improve on?
Well, I think the play action is going to be dependent on your running game. I mean, if you can run it, you can get some strong play action passes that have a lot of sting. We threw a couple today that were beautiful. But again, if you're running the ball with Marshawn Lynch and you're able to establish that, I think he can be a great play-action passer, and I think we've got some routes and some receivers that can get deep.
Hey, Coach, you've been away from coaching for a little while, and they got new technologies and those kinds of things, social media. How's that affecting, and what changes have you seen on this go-around?
Some of it is just new technology. There's a lot of new technology, but it's not better technology. I mean, I got a new remote. I like my old remote better. Some of this new technology, I was a part of that Monday Night Football. They kept bringing me new technology, and the stuff we had was better. So you got to sift through what is better and what is new, and you got to do what's best for your team. So we're trying to do that, but it really hasn't changed that much. It's a hard job. It's a big job, and I know I got a lot to prove, but I got a great staff and guys that are keeping me updated with the technology and all the things that are changing.
John, when you coached previously, you had 2 days. You got one practice. How do you cram all of your energy and everything you want to get done into that one practice?
Well, you got to be creative like we tried to today. We had the horn blowing. We had a TV timeout. We tried to simulate that. We put the ball at the 1-inch line. We came out of our own goal line. We had every third pass in 7-on-7 was third down. We covered a lot of different situations, different personnel groupings. You got to be creative, but at the same time, we still have an afternoon practice. We're going to run 100 reps this afternoon. Nobody wants to watch it because it's a walkthrough. I had to do it just like you did when I was a broadcaster. Every time I'd show up and watch practice, they were having a walkthrough. But you have to adapt, and that's what I'm going to do, just like every other coach in the league. And I have been watching what's going on, so I don't consider it a real challenge.
What do you think of Arden Key's today? His reps, I can't see what's supposed to miss going in there.
He's a good player, man. He's going to be good. He's going to be really good. If he can go back to the Arden Key 2 years ago, we have ourselves an outstanding rusher. He's got a lot to prove, obviously. He's a young player, but we're confident in him.
Do you think you've earned the respect of your players, or is that
I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. I'm doing my best, and that's all I'll do.
Last week you went to Ricky's and had an event with fans from a personal level. What did that do to get you ready for training?
I do stuff like that. I usually, when I go out, I don't go out very often, and when I do, I like to be around people that are like-minded. So I go to Ricky's, hang out. You guys should try it. It's a great place. But to associate with the real Raider fans that support you thick and thin, that's good stuff. I think that's good for anybody before camp.
Talk a bit about Donald and his progression here.
I think he's getting close. I talk to him every day. He's obviously working independently with trainers right now, but he's getting close. But he still has to prove that he can change directions explosively and wake up the next day and do it again and again.
What have you seen from Martavis Bryant? What can he bring to the offense?
We're still waiting on that. I think it's a work in progress. He's obviously very talented, and he's in a very competitive situation right now. We've got a lot of good wideouts in this camp.
Coach, obviously Khalil Mack. There's been all this drama in the media, about you guys not talking to each other. Is that normal?
Was that dramatic?
Yeah.
Really? consider what's drama. I mean, I've talked to Khalil. You know, those guys aren't always 100% accurate. I talked to Mack when I got the job. I just haven't had a lot of talk with him lately. Not much to talk about right now. Sorry.
We talked a bit about Derek so far. What do you want to see, out of camp from him?
Well, we want to see everybody around him play to his level, really. Be comfortable with different speeds. We're going to come out of the huddle. We're going to use a no huddle. We'll change gears a little bit. Give him a little bit of freedom at the line of scrimmage. If he changes the play, everybody's got to know what to do. So we've got to get everybody wired in on the same page. That's a big challenge. And obviously get his feedback on what he likes. Do you really like this play? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you have a complete understanding of it? So that's a big part of these next couple weeks.
Time for 2 more, guys.
John, what attracted you to Tom Cable as a no-line coach?
Well, I've known Cable, his body of work, for a long time. He ticked me off when he was in Atlanta with that outside zone scheme. He's very diverse as a coach. I think he's portrayed as an outside zone guy, but he ran a lot of gap schemes coming up as a coach. He's very versatile. He's a world champion coach. He has ties to this franchise. He's a natural fit, great competitor, and a hard worker. Glad to have him.
Do you have any flashbacks today to your first Raiders training camp?
I had a few when I saw Jerry walk up. I mean, back in the day, it was pretty hard security to get in here. It's pretty tight, but it's really cool. It's what I came back for, and appreciate you guys being here.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.